E pō ke ua nuku e tū ai, he tāpū i tāmaka e tau ai, tūtū mai o ngā pare kārangaranga, haka tau atu ki tua whenua. Kia mahi a te mua maki iki, kia toi te kupu, toi te mana, toi te reo, toi te aroa, toi te whenua. Ka hu te manu i ki tangiata, ki te pāringo tona pāpara kōhanga. Ka eke ki tai wiwi, ka eke ki tai wawa. Ka puhia no mai, ka puhia no atu. Taku, taku, take, take. Tū mai te toki, haumi e, hui e, tai ki e. A kake ake ki runga, i te maungatapu o Maungataniwha, a titiro whakararo ki te moana o Rangaunu. Mai te moana o Rangaunu, ka kitea te wako o Māmaru. Mai te wako o Māmaru a Pātiaharoa ki nai toenga te pātū o Oturu. Te matara te whare tupuna, ko te hoihonga te whare kai, ko hiki nui te urupā, ko opaka te aua, ka huri, ki te iwi o Ngāti Kau, tū te ao, tū te pō. Nā reira, ko Hone Popata Junior tōku ingoa, wairua ki te wairua, mana motuhake ki te mana motuhake, nau mai hara mai ki tō mātenei ao. Wai ora whānau, tukai te rākau, taka tūngangi.
Hara mai, ko tamanui te rā, whiti rere, whiti haka te runga, whiti haka te āhuru, whiti ore tihe wa mauri ora. Ko Daniel Popata tuku ingoa, ko Maungataniwha, tuku maunga, ko Oki ore tāua, ko Oturu te Marae. Kia ora koutou. Kia ora e te whānau. I've been put here to do a brief kōrero on health and wellbeing as we integrate it through our mahi. I've been on a journey for my own health and wellbeing since I've started at mahi. I don't like to call it mahi, I rather call it responsibilities. You know, it's a need for us. Yeah. So, just a bit about myself. I've been in Kaitaia for 20 years. Most of my time up in Kaitaia, I've been pretty much around the taiao, pretty much around the whenua part of things. Pretty much the whaiwhai tonu mātu. Since I've been working at Maungataniwha ki Rangaunu, and the kaupapa that my brother and Jaroz have given to us workers, a couple of the brothers ain't here, but we're all in the same kaupapa of health and well-being. I like to call it health and wellbeing. Yeah, it's definitely helped me a lot. Things that it's helped me with is quitting smoking, quit cigarettes, being a better father, better koro, what else? Better father to my children and my mokopuna. Yeah. Yeah, I've still enjoying the journey. It's beautiful around the wai. Listening to the wai, karakia, meditation. Still learning things at the moment, but very enjoying it. Yeah, love it whānau, me and kaupapa. It's helped my journey. I'd just like to leave my kōrero there, and I'd just like to finish it off with a bit of a kōrero. Tēnā koutou, whānau, guardians of the land, protectors of the waters, and all the living creatures within. I stand before you today as a voice for Wai Māori, our freshwater, our ancestral treasure, the lifeblood of the earth, and the heartbeat of our people. What is the most important thing? It is water. Why? It's a sacred gift passed down from our ancestors, a treasure to be safeguarded for future generations. Without water, there is no life, no people, no land. I'll say that again. Without water, there is no life, no people, no land, no future. Water flows through our rivers, lakes, and oceans, just as blood flows through our veins. It carries its own life force, its own mahi, and it sustains all life beings. As tangata whenua, we are not just users of the water, we are its guardians. It is not ours to sell, pollute, or destroy. It is our responsibility to nurture, protect, and honour it, ensuring it remains clean, abundant, and life-giving for the next generations to come. The fish, the eels, the birds, and all the other creatures that call the water home are our relations. If the water dies, they die. If they die, we suffer too. This is a sacred connection, and it is our duty to uphold it. The wisdom of our ancestors teaches us that when we care for the water, it will care for us in return. So, my whānau, we must stand strong. As kaitiaki, we must fight for our rivers, our lakes, and our oceans, ensuring they are exploited, polluted, or lost to greed. We must restore the mana of our waters and return the knowledge of our future who understood the balance of life. Waiora, waiora, waiora. May our waters forever flow with life. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
Kia ora. Kia ora tātou. Ko ai hau. Ko tōku tūpuna, I moe a pihana taha pihi ia hine tū te rangi mahara, no maniapoto, ko kahotia te marae, ka puta ko makariti, I moe ia Chris Atama ka puta ko au, ko hone taku tāne, ka tahi ka puta atu.
Ko ngā whiti taimana Popata hei, no Oturu hei.
Kia ora, ngā.
Kia pai manoa, kia ka.
Ko maro,
Ka pai.
kia ora, ko maro mai toki ingoa.
Kia ora rā. Tēnā tātai. Ai. Pai nōna. Ai. Kia ora tātou. Where to start? So, if I... Okay. E ono minute e toi. Oturu mai, ko mātou tērā, and ko ngai tohianga te pātunga hapū. So we were in Kaitaia and Rangaunu Harbour. And I suppose the issue, like one of many, but for us, engagement with just tangata whenua regarding why Māori management was lacking, is lacking, and we're talking about the far north, leading to disconnection, which we've all talked about on some level, so I don't need to. And in 2019, we had access issues, things that we wanted to do in public spaces, so next to reserves, and because local councils weren't listening to us on the ground, hapū, we wanted a way to approach on a larger scale, not just at our marae. Because sometimes at our marae, we didn't even understand the language of what kaitiakitanga is or was. So we had support from Marae, and then COVID happened. We went to Wai Māori before COVID, went to Wai Māori Trust, and had an idea about catchment management, had an idea about bringing friends and whānau along and listening to our stories within the Awanui Catchment. So yes, this is some of our friends and whānau. And in 2020, we started a hikoi, mai Maungataniwha ki Rangaunu, ko te wahapū ko Rangaunu. So this is the catchment, 20,000 hectares. All of it drains towards Rangaunu through 3 rivers, to Takahoe, Maungataniwha, and Whebun. So Takahoe and Maungataniwha are old settlements of our people. Maungataniwha being a manga, and Taiore was a tupu, and only that tupu of Taiore is unique, endemic to Maungataniwha. So these rivers form the Awanui River, which flows through Kaitaia Township and then out to Awanui Settlement before moving out to the Rangaunu Harbour. In the upper reaches of the ranges, Maungataniwha, like there's less than 1% of ancient remnant forest that exists. Right, Kaitaia population, 6,380. So within the catchment, our peopling looks like 3 to 4 iwi, depending on who you're talking with. Ngā te kahu, te pātū, te rarawa, and ngai takato. 9 marae in our catchment, Maungataniwha, Takahui, te pātū, te rarawa, te uri o hina, Oturu, mahi maru and waimanoni. Mahi maru and waimanoni being at the lower reaches of Rangaunu. Kura in our space. There's in the Kaitaia area, Pamapuri, there's like 3. 5 ECE centres, if you're kaiako. There's a few churches in there. 3 kura kaupapa Māori within our catchment. Te kura kaupapa o Pukemiro, te rangi āniwaniwa and Tutu Tarakahi. 5 kohanga reo. And our main settlements include Kaitaia Township, Awanui, built in the floodplains, so they're at the lower reach. Pukepoto, it's well known for tangonge. Tangonge is a repo, comes and goes seasonally. And then Ahipara on the outskirts of the catchment, west side. Kaitaia alone, 40 to 50, no one really knows. Floodgates, 3 major spillways. In Kaitaia, we accounted for 15 million of flood works to date. We've probably surpassed that in the last 5 years. And not sure how many, this is good research, kia ora, how many kilometres of drains that is yet to be known in our catchment. So we kind of built on drains now, really. And this has been our journey over time. We started at the Marae, so we were into building capacity and capability amongst our own iwi, hapū kaitiaki, and our runanga at the time really invested in us to educate and upskill ourselves. So we were really grateful for that support. And most of our monitoring has really come in the resource consenting space. So my background has come from planning, policy, even though I don't like that, but certainly in the resource planning. So resource consenting has been always our biggest push and probably our biggest priority, if I was to point that out. And so delivering mātauranga, wānanga in that space for our marae. And then we moved into grabbing our friends and whānau, doing the hikoi 2020. And so Moirua is a public reserve. Moirua is where our community have a sports place, the new sports hub there, and we use that as our central base to engage with community. And working our tangata tiriti partnerships. That's tangata tiriti kia nei is, oh look, I've run out of time. Okay, I need to. Yes, carry on. These are my obligatory funding photos for reporting purposes, but also capturing our stories, that we're all doing really well of capturing our own stories. So we did a lot of E. coli testing and sites that were important to our people that were in our ropu. So these are low-lying fruits, whānau, friends, hapū, pretty much po in their own whānau and hapū. Just happened to be that. So the photos of the gatherings, that's down at Rangaunu Harbour. So that's where our wānanga ended. And this one is our community planting. So that provides us a platform to really see test our relationships with tangata tiriti, local government, other agencies, who's going to turn up, and provide resources for us to engage. And we engage with kura, bring our kura down, experience, outdoors now and then, as opposed to being in classroom. So that's in public reserve. And so, this last year, opportunity arose to do some research in our tuna space, in our inanga. And I suppose, just listening to some of the kōrero, our whāinga would be in our current state is just identifying the migratory patterns via floodgates, what floodgates actually do, and drains. Where are the drains really going? So that's always been we have drainage committees in every district. They're really at the point of controlling what those drains look like to today. They're a whole different beast. And inanga spawning sites for us in the Rangaunu, that was really difficult. It still is difficult for us to find those spawning sites. So just reading the material that came out about drains will speak to us in our space. So I'm really excited about, potentially Project 2.0. Just really identifying. So we had a lot of ebb and flow about saltwater wedge, and that shifted in our river. So it was really difficult to identify. And what I did like about ArcGIS was that people that do share on GIS, some of our organisations, I could see the methods that we were using. So that was something I liked about ArcGIS, if we're sharing about data, if we choose to or not to. We could see what other people were doing if you're in the GIS space. And one of the whāinga, for us, leaning into inanga is where are these spawning sites seasonally, and then we can begin restoration. And we're working with private owners. They're going to be farmers. And, again, low-lying fruit, the people that are interested in looking after inanga, and we're going to talk to them first always. So stakeholder engagement. Challenges for us. Finding solutions. Go big or go home. And the scaling, is very inspiring to hear the scale at which we're all working towards. That's a mass movement for all of us, I believe. So he tira hanga Māori tēnei. Data management, IP, questions to share or not to share. and relating data with pūrākau, like how are people doing that? Being relevant to our people. So here, whānau hauora, housing, our social needs, and attaching why activities to everything that's happening in our marae. And that's including te reo Māori wānanga, going to our local awa, and then our whānau were interested in about the name of our awa. Not monitoring as such, but just hauhake kai. And putting up signage, like those are little tohu along the road of our whānau wanting to participate in the conversation of kaitiaki. And how do we measure our impact? How to measure, like this is our challenge, how to measure our impact. We work with youth, we intentionally work with youth. We're funded through hauora to work with our youth and then engage in our projects that are running. And then that's fun for us, because it's important to have fun whānau. With our own and catchment collectives. So not necessarily water monitoring. We also, in the north, we have noho taiao, which work and engage in our kura, and like bringing Māori scientists and mātauranga, so we don't have to do that. It's looking to what other organisations are amplifying in our rohe, o te nota nei, and then ka hono ati mata ki tira. Or just directing our whānau to there. Keep it simple. We push at local level, local government level all the time to be the kaitiaki monitoring team. Not us necessarily, but the space of tangata whenua, mana whenua, kei a koe, and that we are the ones that are more than community science, we're more than citizen science, that we have the quality and calibre to carry out the monitoring, that contracts, that our local governments contract out to. So the transfer of power, just my little bit. Kia au ki tō mātou reina. Oh yeah, what I wrote there for. Because our lane, when we're talking about catchment and the flow of wai, te hurihanga o te wai, that's all our lane. Kia nei, that's the whole lane. So collectivism is the key for us to he Māori kia Māori. What else? Yes, keep it simple in a complex environment. Aspire, similar forum as. So yeah, one aspirations similar to the forum Waikato and Waipa Iwi Collective. Awesome. Very inspiring. Want to learn. So this is some of the stuff that we do. Practicing mātauranga. We're okay to make mistakes. Our kids are in Te Aho Matua, and that's where if we're going to make a difference. Ko hanga reo, Te Aho Matua whānau, te reo Māori, aha ko te aha, te iti, me te rahi. Yes, and I think that's the sign there. Yep, it is finished. Kia ora rā. Ia mahi.
Nā tonga nei o nā tūpuna, nā tikuri te au pauri, kia kotai mai tātou katoa. Te rārawa nai takoto, no te kahu, ha maira, a whina tia mai e tātou, ngauri o muri whenua, ki ai whiwhia, nā tanga nei o nā tūpuna. Ka nuku nuku ka neke neke, ka nuku nuku ka neke neke, titira ki ngā taiao takarau ai horone, nehe pipi wharaura, takato te pai, takato te pai. Hei! Kia ora.